Hi. If you're a young man watching this between, say, 15, 25, 30, you need to stop worrying about finding a life partner. You can plan for it, you can aim for it, you can position yourself for it, but you need to not worry about it because this is actually one of the more simple dilemmas we're faced with as we get older and start thinking about settling down and having kids. Because there's only one question you ever need to ask yourself in regards to, should I have a partner? Should I not have a partner? Should I have kids? Should I not have kids? And that is, have you found an extremely high quality person of the other gender that you want to have kids with? If you found them, then you should. If you haven't, then you shouldn't. There are other questions that follow up, like if you had that person and you kind of let them slip through your fingers, but even then, you're digging into kind of dark hypotheticals because if they slip through your fingers, then you weren't ready. And even if you had had kids, it probably wouldn't have worked out. Those problems would have followed you into the relationship and you would have been committed, and then you would have ended up with a broken family rather than just an ended relationship. So all you need to think about is, am I in a place that I can find a quality woman or man? I'm mainly talking to guys though. Or have I found her already? And I think that she would be good with kids, that could raise kids well, that we could work together well on a long time frame. People get lost in like just neurotic fears about, am I going to die alone? Should I die alone? Can I settle down at 50? Is it too late for me? Have I already met that person and let them go? Stop. Have you met them or not? I speak from experience. I'm 27 and I've worried. I've thought, man, I really never been in love at all. Not even that close to it. I've definitely had strong affection for people. I've had some pretty good relationships, but I've never had that feeling like, yes, this is the person. And I began to think about, am I broken? Is something completely wrong with me? And obviously I've made that assessment and looked at myself and I've seen, no, I'm pretty much normal. I treat people well in relationships. I don't have problems finding relationships. It's just that I haven't found that person yet. And I might not ever find the person that I think is of the right quality to have kids. Now, obviously, I believe in having kids. I don't want the birth rate to plummet. I don't want to not leave behind a legacy. And most people honestly believe that way, even if you've read otherwise on the internet. Most people want to have kids, just like most people want to eat. It's something that humans pretty naturally want to do. Now, things can get in the way of it, but most of us want it. I want it. But because of what we think of as a ticking clock hanging over us, telling us when we should do this, when we can do this, especially as men, we start to panic and we start to date frantically. And there is nothing worse for finding a quality partner than doing this thing that most people do when they think they need to find a quality partner, which is dating frantically. Now, if you're an extremely attractive woman, maybe you can get away with it because you're going to be attracting high quality people no matter what, simply because of your looks. But if you're a normal guy like you or me, dating frantically will be a disaster for you, even if you do find someone attractive, because you're going to be filtering based on your desperation rather than the very hard facts of what that person is, which is already hard enough to figure out, even if you're not horny, even if you're not desperate to have kids, even if you don't feel like, it's time to settle down. There is almost nothing harder for a man than to judge the woman in front of him who he likes and who he's bonded with objectively. It's extremely hard. I guess maybe the only thing harder is for a woman to do the same to the man that she's in love with. Both of us, we really struggle with this. But I'm not giving you the kind of classic advice of like, always be okay with walking away. Because honestly, I think that's a little bit weird, bordering on sociopathic. Not that it's sociopathic to be able to walk away, but to have that as the main like criterion for a healthy relationship is a little bit strange because it's not really human. Like, if you're with someone for 10 years, you've had sex every day and you've had a kid together, like, you're going to be sad. You're not going to want to walk away. You should be able to if things reach this level of abuse and like horrible dysfunction. But like, to just tell guys, you just have to be willing to walk away and then you won't have any relationship problems is totally, totally crazy. Especially when kids are in the picture, because you want to avoid walking away very, very desperately. The whole point of marriage is to keep you and the partner from walking away and disrupting the kids' lives and leaving them with trauma and dysfunction, etc. All we can do is put ourselves in a place to meet a quality partner for us. This often means moving to the right city, to the right country, joining the right kinds of organizations, finding places that attract people with the right temperament. And I think this isn't talked about enough. Your type should not really be quite as focused on the physical, though of course that matters, or of shared interests, which is super overrated. What needs to be focused on is your type temperamentally. For example, I feel like I'm a little hard-edged, a little cynical, so I really like women who are super sweet and friendly and generous and kind, who like want to take care of stray animals in the street, that kind of thing. Because I both connect with that and respect it. Like, I love generosity and charity, but that energy just doesn't come super naturally to me. I don't express it that well. So to have a woman with me who helps me go there is just great, and I just admire her for it. So that really works for me. Other people, they kind of like the ice queens for whatever reason. The point is, figure that out. Figure out why you like it, so you're not just kind of blindly following a passion that might lead you to choosing bad partners, and go to places where you could find a person like that. For me, it would be, I don't know, volunteering in an animal shelter. But you should not do that like some pickup artist on the prowl. Like, I can't go to an animal shelter to volunteer and just be like, where's that generous woman at? I want to date her. I need to like connect with the part of me that actually wants to do it and actually enjoy it. And just think about like, this is the part of me that wants to connect with a woman who's like this. So I'll go to a place where that part can be brought out. Not like I'm just tactically hanging outside the dog shelter propositioning people. That's obviously insane. Don't do that. But if I do that, if I'm generally doing those right things that align me with finding a partner that I think is quality and who I'm temperamentally aligned with, then I can sleep at night and not fret over if I found the quality partner or not. Because guess what, guys? It's going to be okay. There are many, many options as you get older to fill up your life. And now I know that, especially right now in the self-help communities, in the online digital world of men, people talk a lot about how important it is to have kids. And I agree with that, but I don't think that's what most young guys need to hear right now. Because most young guys are already too desperate and frantic and lonely as it is. What you guys need to hear is that it's okay. You have at least until you're 40 for it to be super normal for you to find a partner and have kids. And you have longer than that to make it work. Like, let's be real, rock stars are having kids at like 75, and it works out all right for them. All of us are not going to be Mick Jagger, but there's so many options on the table for having a family unit, for having a community, for not being alone. Honestly, the reason you're so afraid of being alone is probably because the way you're living might actually result in like true aloneness. Like, you're living in your mom's basement, not going out, not meeting anyone, watching all of those old relationships you used to have decay. If you're on that path, then that's where the fear of being alone is coming from. But if you have a social life, if you're going to places where you have a good chance of meeting the right woman, then you're not going to have that terror. You can sleep at night and just know, I haven't found her yet. Maybe tomorrow I will. And when I do find her, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and hopefully it's going to work out. That's all you can do, guys. That's all the control you have. And be very careful of this idea that like you're going to law of attract the right woman in through magical powers. You're not. You're just you. You are just how you behave at the next bar, the next club, the next community gathering, the next whatever. That's what you've got. Work with that and do it right. If you do those things right, you will find the right partner, because guess what? There's 4 billion of them out there. In your country, there might be 10 million, 100 million, whatever. There is someone. And if you're terrified of not finding them, it's because you're living a very unhealthy lifestyle, not because you're completely unlovable and the dating market is completely destroyed and there's no chance for any of us. Okay? Okay.